Oh, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to Purpose Fridays with the Power of Purpose, Sherry Watson family and friends. So glad you joined us. Hope you've had a great week. Friday, everyone. We want to make sure that we have just a special announcement we want to get out to all of you today, once again, about our continuing series to highlight the relief and rebuilding efforts of communities devastated by the severe weather and hurricanes, led by the Power Purpose and our coalition of nonprofits, our Purpose Pioneers. So we're going to be, in this series, we're continuing to discuss how our nonprofits, as well as others, are making a difference and show you how you can get involved to help those in need affected by this devastation. So with that, with further ado, once again, we're going to bring on the one and only Sherry Watson and also introduce some very special guests, people very near and dear to us, people that are on the ground, and we want to really highlight and show how you can directly help them. So let's bring on Sherry Watson.
Hey, well, happy Purpose Friday, everyone. And I'm here today at the hotel in Albuquerque that the Purpose Pioneers are meeting at this weekend to come together, mastermind, and take this coalition to a whole level, and their nonprofits leading the way. With me, I have Mr. Pete, who has the nonprofit in Florida, that's going to talk to you about what his nonprofit's going to be doing in this Rebuild America coalition. So we're going to have some fun today as we talk about the impact and how we together are going to bring the solutions, the supports and services to empower folks to keep them hope and bring their families back together and get them on the path to rebuilding and reigniting their lives. Last night, our coalition meeting, you guys, let me back up. I see we have a lot of new folks on the call with us. You guys, the Power of Purpose has a mission. Our mission is to launch and empower at least 10,000 nonprofits for the more connectedness and loving in this world and to bring people to a new height. And I've spent 35 years in the nonprofit world. I built my career, my life, my purpose. You know, something so tragic, having a head injury and laying in a coma, to become so triumphant. Because my pastor every day sat by me as I laid in a coma, and he finally said, "Girl, you gotta quit laying in there and feel sorry for yourself." I'm thinking, yeah, boy, am I. The why me, why me? Now it's time. God picked you up, and miraculously, they can't explain why you're alive. So instead of why, ask what. What's my purpose? So you guys, I was so blessed at such a young age to learn my purpose. I joined the disability movement. We came together arm in arm like the Purpose Pioneers are. We built a coalition. We changed the paradigm in this country of long-term care, where we lived in nursing homes and institutions, and we became part of the American dream. We wrote, carried, and got past the Americans with Disabilities Act. I'm telling you this history because I know the power of coalitions. I know the impact that we, the people, have and what we can do to help folks in the Houston area and in Florida area and in Puerto Rico. And there's so much hurt right now. And so we gather together, the Power of Purpose, our nonprofits, the folks that have been with us, that stepped up, took action, joined our mastermind. We could be mentor with them now. We gathered this together and said, okay, all of our nonprofits in Houston, all of our nonprofits in Florida, we now need to come together to bring power in number to be able to access the Trump administration. That $15 billion that was sent for relief, where is it? How do we get it to the people? And so the power of the people, you guys, this is us. It's not about the government or what they're doing. We are the government. So this coalition has come together. We've been meeting weekly. The name everyone came together with on was Rebuild America. So we've got the call to action, we've got the email, and we're putting a logo together, call to action. Come and join Rebuild America. And so October 13th, stay tuned. Purpose Fridays. We've got folks with us today from Houston, from Florida that lead nonprofits. They're going to talk to you about what the need is there. We're coordinating relief efforts. We have a friend that secured a warehouse in Houston to start with, and we can direct you where we're going to take things, where things need to be delivered, what needs to be delivered, and we have troops on the ground that are going to make it happen. So with all of that, Purpose Pioneers, building the coalition of Rebuild America. And look who's with us, Mr. Tim Combs.
Yeah, there he is.
I told you we're going to have some fun. Yee! We're here in Albuquerque together. You guys, talk about dreaming and scheming this afternoon. So this is going to be an amazing day. Yet we were so blessed last night to have Pastor Walter join us with Bethel's Place in Houston. They are on the ground. 23 years, he said, making a difference, empowering people, lifting them up. So together, you guys join us, join the coalition as we move around the country in the rebuilding efforts with the end goal and outcome to be a coalition that'll be around long after we're gone, that teaches communities how to come together and not just rebuild disaster relief, but rebuild broken systems. Youth that are ended up in juvenile justice, rebuild that, redirect money where the nonprofits are teaching those kids self-esteem, leadership, careers, versus spend another 10 million building a juvenile justice system. This coalition has so much impact in not just the devastation and disaster, but teaching folks how to come together and remember that we, the people, are the one that can access the funding to bring the solutions. So, Derek, I'm going to let you kind of introduce folks from there, and we'll get Tim. Do you want to tell?
How you doing?
Hey, Tim. You guys.
Let's start with the folks next to you first and foremost. People very special to us and the Purpose family. We have Pete Goodall from Florida, and we have Tim Combs from Iowa. Hey, guys.
How's it going? You're looking a little sharp there, Derek, today.
What a change, right?
Yeah, man.
And you guys, I want you to really listen. Those of you that are with us on Facebook and have joined us with our community, you don't need to be in Houston or Florida or Puerto Rico to help in this Rebuild America coalition. We have nonprofits all over the country that are coming together to help in the Houston area and moving to Florida. And so we've been talking and dreaming and scheming with Tim's nonprofit. So we're going to have to spend some time talking. His nonprofit, and I'll let him show this, Americans for Independent Living, it's so awesome. It's in Iowa. Well, we talked yesterday with a group that had funding for veterans, talking about bringing Tim in, providing them funding, just like all of you guys. You got to have funding to make the impact. Providing funding where he could bring groups of veterans forward to the different areas to help in the rebuilding efforts. Ginger in New York, she's going to be with us in Albuquerque. Her nonprofit serves Haiti. She's a physical therapist that's healing emotionally, physically, spiritually, bringing folks that. And now taking that grant that she got awarded in Haiti and planting something like that in the Houston area for folks to have that support. So don't think it's just about the Houston and Florida and Puerto Rico areas. Your nonprofit, your gift, your business leadership can be a part of bringing all this together. So Tim, we'll start with you.
How's it going?
There, you want to sit down?
No, I'm good. Out of the picture, I'll break the camera. But well, yeah, we're excited to hear what all is going on with it, and I'm a little behind the 8 ball here on it, but missed a few of the phone calls. So hopefully Terry can get me caught up to speed here, and Pete's starting to do that already. So yeah, we're here to go through the mastermind event here this weekend. So get caught up with everything, and then see what we can do to try to get a group together to come down and help and do what we can do on our part of it too. So
yeah. Yay. And you guys,
cool.
the mastermind, the Purpose Pioneers, folks have come together that are leading nonprofits that have been working with us. And this is big. This is big for all of you. This is almost time for Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday in the nonprofit world brings more funding to the nonprofits there than the whole rest of the year. So as we're launching our Positive Action platform and the crowdfunding October 13th, and you're all going to get the email and that the kind of our call to action out to all of your influencers. We're going to send it out across the country next week. And think big. Hilson that lives in Houston, we're going to go with all of them and say, get your community involved. Join us October 13th as we make the launch to let people bring their resources, bring their wallets, bring their checkbooks, bring their resources to all of our nonprofits. So you guys, this weekend, we're going to be focusing on the coalition, Giving Tuesday, the charitable giving of real estate. So you guys stay tuned, because next week it's going to be a whole huge launch of what we're doing with Giving Tuesday along with this. So now we got Mr. Pete.
Hey, Pete Goodall from Orlando, Florida. I'm pretty much going to start out in if we receive any money, or when we receive money for funding, go down to South Florida and help the people most devastated. In the Orlando area or Central Florida area, I didn't see too much devastation like they did in Key West or South Florida. I know the funding will do best when we go down to South Florida. Take a couple of people with us. One of the masterminds I went to, I met a lady who's very influential in the South Florida area. So I'm sure she has a band of people that can come down and help and spread the love of Giving Tuesday and all the things that we're going to get from this amazing thing that we're doing. So my nonprofit is We Serve Moms, and we're going to help out all the moms and all the single parents out there that were totally devastated by hurricane. And it's time to get down there and help, because I know a lot of the news and has went on to something else, and I'm sure those single parents are hurting, and who knows where they're living right now, if they're living in somebody's car, or if they're living on the beach, or if they're living in a shack in a tent. It's quite amazing what we're going to do, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm trying to get all three of us in the camera. Pete keeps okay, there. That's better, Pete.
Thank you.
You guys, just to give you a little bit of from last week where we are this week, and then we're going to open it up with Camilla, Pastor Walter, Corliss, different groups that are here. But last week we started talking about Steve and Camilla and folks on the ground, Corliss, talking about the needs in the Houston area and what they were seeing. And we started seeing some videos and pictures and what was going on. So one of the things we coordinated throughout the week, again, the coalition, people are hearing about it. The buzz is starting. People want to know how they can join. One of our my colleague, partner in crime, love, Tim Mai, he's a real estate investor, he's a guru for the gurus. He's very purpose-driven. He serves on the board for a nonprofit. He's from Houston. And so he went and he secured a warehouse, an empty warehouse for us. And there, we have boots on the ground. Several ministries our nonprofits are working with several ministries that are bringing 50 to 100 people for the rebuilding from around the country, around the state, but they don't have supplies. The thing that's lacking right now, and this is so important for all of you guys to hear, because America is the greatest country. We want to give, we want to make a difference. But we now know, we need to know what people need. I mean, not just to send clothes and stuff, and, you know, we want to help. The real need right now is in the rehab materials, the rebuilding. You know, they've gone in, they've torn out the sheetrock, they've got the box fans starting to dry. They need sheetrock, they need paint, they need basics to go back in and rebuild. So we have a warehouse now. We have a trucking company in Middle America that's working with us now, and they're going to be doing some. Derek and I and our team are working. We're going to do a disaster relief from New Mexico. We've already got some trucks lined up. Now we've got a place to take it. We know what supplies they need. And Camilla, Corliss, Steve, Pastor Walter will help. They'll help navigate folks to come to that warehouse in the rebuilding. So that's one thing we talked about last night. And many of you, we get emails daily flooding our email box from people that don't know us, and we don't know them, and say, please, we're hurting, can you help, can you? And so starting out with the building is going to be a big effort. And you guys, we now can be part of what people really need to get the basics. And then I want Corliss, Pastor Walter, and Camilla to talk about the different areas they're working in, where they see need, and we're going to just keep spreading the word, you guys. And to find out the address of the warehouse and the location, in the chat, I'm going to put our phone number and our email, and we'll coordinate that with Pastor Walter, Camilla, Steve, all them. And then to broaden it, Skip Thomas has been one of our, I can't even explain, he's bigger than a friend. He's like a soulmate with all of us. It's very purpose-driven, very, very beautiful talent. He has a nonprofit now called Amplifying Truth, and he has John Mark Huckabee on his board. We met this week, and preparing all this, getting everything ready, then to launch it to Governor Huckabee, the Trump administration. That's where we, as a country, we the people, can start asking questions. Where's that $15 billion? How do we navigate it? How do we get it to people on the ground? How do we make sure we do not do a Hurricane Katrina thing where money's all over the place and it never gets to the communities? We can't allow that to happen. So this coalition is not only helping in the rebuilding, but taking a strong stand in the advocacy and getting that money to the folks on the ground. So we were so blessed, Pastor Walter, that you joined us last night. There was so much buzz after our coalition meeting. And for those of you on the coalition building, again, I'll put our phone number and the information. Come and join us. When Pastor Walter gave us a whole new depth of taking this forward, and the confidence and you brought to us, and not inspiration, Pastor, but it's more motivation. You know, you're out there doing it, and you've done so much for 23 years, but the last 30 days, it really motivates us. There are no limits. We can do this. We are going to do this. So I'm so proud to introduce you, Pastor, and share a little bit about Bethel's Place and what you've been doing, and us moving forward together.
Well, I appreciate that, and we thank God for all of you. We say good evening to everyone, and we're here in Houston, of course, and we're in the Fondren and southwest side of our city. We have been on the ground really working the last 28 of the 31 days since Hurricane Harvey and Tropical Storm Harvey has devastated the Houston and the Gulf Coast region. I was giving just a little snapshot of last night of our service to humanity. Over 50,000 people have been benefited from our services, whether through food, clothing, and the utilities and those kind of things, some level of housing. And Shelley is right. We're at a point now where they're moving toward apartments. They have to get into more permanent shelter, not just shelters, but more permanent residence. So we're working to transition some into apartments because some of the work right now to their homes is going to take a few months to make that happen. Many are still frustrated because there is some legalities that's going on, especially those homes that's flooded because they had to release water from reservoirs. So that's a whole legal war going on there, but the frustration and the anger continue to mount. And then there's a silent storm that we need to continue to contend with. And that storm is the emotional, it is the grief, it is the part that we don't see that still looms after a hurricane or storm have gone on. And so we're also having to provide counselors, grief counselors, because when people lose absolutely everything they've worked so hard for, their mental mind frame probably will never be the same, or it won't even be a sense of normalcy some years out. So we're working on an 18-month to really a 3-year timetable to get people to get back to a level of balance. And so what you guys are doing in the area of trying to collaborate the resources, whether it's nationwide or whether it's federal dollars or state dollars or nonprofit dollars. We're on the ground, we have the boots on the ground, we have the video on the ground, we have the testimonies on the ground. And I think someone said it last night, it's people over paperwork, over bureaucracy, because these are the things that a lot of people are in that 911 zone. So we have to move expeditiously, and we must be the mouthpiece for so many who won't get a chance to air their frustrations for whatever reasons. And so we're here to help out. And as I shared last night, whatever we can do to be that speaker, that activist for others who don't have, helping to stabilize, we're here. We want to make sure our services are provided. But thank all of you for gathering today.
Awesome, you guys. Bethel's Place. That's right. I heard about you years ago. You guys they're such an amazing group for us to be a part of. They walk the walk, and they put no limits. They know that there are no limits, and so it's just such an honor. And we'll be right beside you, Pastor. Everything we are a part of, we want to bring you guys the resources, all of you guys. We want to, think about 100,000 people joining us October 13th. Let's put it out there. Why not? Yeah. Getting it out to Tony Robbins and Deepak Chopra and Oprah and have them send it out to their communities. And then have 100,000 people on Purpose Friday where we launch the Positive Action Platform. And we have the support of the Governor Huckabees sat on every TV station I watched during the first few days of Houston area. And they said, what advice would you give the Trump administration? And he said, people, not paperwork. When you're meeting with that mayor, Camilla and Corliss and Pastor, and they have CDBG funding, community development, block banning, disaster relief. Oh, but according to Section 202, the administration is saying, throw that away. It needs to be about the people now. So we have voices at different levels and think big. That show Billion Dollar Buyer with Tilson that built Landry's and built $1 billion empire now, casinos, hotels. it's all based in Houston. Why can't we get to him to have him be a part of the rebuilding? So think big. Don't let any noise cloud. Let go of that fear and let's come together and make this happen. So Camilla is in the Houston area. Camilla and I came together when she was just wanting to set up her not-for-profit and make a difference in the community. We talked a couple of weeks ago that she had no idea it would go this direction and be this big. But her whole focus has been on economic development, creating jobs. And so when we first started the coalition, I sent out some resources of how in New Orleans, the 9th Ward, how they took control and they rebuilt their own community. And they demanded the money come to them. And I was at the Faith-Based Initiative Conference with President Bush the last year. We gave award to the gentleman that really took the lead in that. So I sent I sent the whole coalition some of the resources for the 9th Ward. What they built nonprofits, they have an incubator, they fund the businesses in the rebuilding. And so Camilla has been meeting with them, getting guidance from them. So Camilla, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for joining us, everyone. We really appreciate you being here on Purpose Fridays. And the main thing that I want to share with you this week is that the economic impact of this, just like Pastor Waller was saying, it's an 18 to 3-year time frame. This is not something that in a week or in 2 weeks will be all fixed, and it will take some time. And so I appreciate that you guys did not tune out after the first 3 days have passed, because now the news is on to something else, but we're still here. And I cannot tell you how many emails and calls I am getting from, single parents that they can't afford childcare or they didn't get paid. And it's just really difficult because most Americans today are living paycheck to paycheck. And so if the 1 or 2 paychecks don't come, that is a huge disaster. And so a part of my focus and my work has been to help business owners that have lost everything, that are having a hard time paying their employees, to kind of get back on their feet. Because, every restaurant you think about, every store that's out there, that's 25, 50 people that either will get their paychecks or will not get their paycheck. And that's kind of a big thing. Helping moms and parents with childcare, that's another big thing. You can't work if you have kids at home. And a lot of them can't afford childcare right now because school was out for an extra 4 weeks. And so these problems just multiply. I don't have a place to live. I don't have a place to put my kids. I can't go to work because, my job doesn't exist anymore. And so, we're just really excited about the coalition and trying to help everyone get back on their feet as fast as they can. Sherry?
Awesome. Well, Camilla, tell us what you found out did you talk to the incubator in the 9th Ward that Propel, and kind of some opportunities for us to start with Houston and move forward?
Absolutely. So we will be talking with them even more next week, now that they know kind of where we are and what the purpose is of the Community Development Institute that I'm a part of here. And the one thing that they shared with me is that in the beginning, it's just very important to make sure that the businesses that already are stable or used to be stable don't crash and go bankrupt. So they said, the first thing is the triage with, who needs a business loan, who needs $5,000 to meet payroll so they don't have to fire people, and so just really make sure, who needs inventory. Like if you just lost everything that was on the floor, the shoes are not going to replace themselves. Something has to happen. And bank loans don't really work for this at all, because they now have no income to show, and a lot of other reasons why the paperwork is stopping, the regular banks from lending money right now to business owners. So that's the first thing they said. The second thing they said is they run educational programs for people. They help people with interviewing skills, and they also hire people as well to work at the nonprofit. So for us with the rebuilding, we were hoping to hire veterans and single moms. and to kind of prepare people using their templates on how to train someone to open their own business later on. But this is more, you know, you're talking a little bit later. This is not something that's going to happen right now. This is for later. Right now it's about, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, but he's fine.
Yeah, oh, wonderful. So, so they said the first step is raise a lot of money and keep businesses that already work in the community from going under, you know, and then take it from there. So that would be like the summary of what we talked about so far. And then we will go through the details of their programs as well next week. So I'll share that with you guys on Friday.
You guys, that's so awesome. The power of the coalition. Listen to this. One of our coalition members, his nonprofit is called Jack's Place. It's helping kids with type 1 diabetes, education, that kind of thing. Well, he came forward in the coalition as they started getting feet on the ground and seeing what the needs were. And he's like, oh my gosh, people aren't able to even get to a pharmacy to get their kids insulin and things that they need to live, not something they just want. And the cars have been flooded that have no transportation. And he said if they did, 3 of the pharmacies in his area, again, the local, homegrown, have been flooded and were shut down. So see how Camilla can come in and work hand in hand with him that's the power of a coalition. So Camilla, what you brought forward just now, helping businesses right now. And so the pharmacies that Richard's talking about, you know, and then his nonprofit being able to go in and help get the supplies to all the kids. That's the power of building a community and coming together. Awesome. So Corliss, I know you've been working with Bethel's Place. You were one that really introduced us to Pastor, and you've been working hand in hand. So tell us a little bit, Corliss, about your nonprofit and what the needs are and how you're partnering and bringing that to the coalition.
Hi, my nonprofit is Family Matters, and we are basically into 2 meanings. Number one is families' needs are important, and basically families are important. So that's what we work with. My focus in this is the kids in the Houston area that have either been displaced or economically disadvantaged. I have reached out to Houston Independent School District to work with their organization called FACE, and it's called Families and Community Empowerment or something like that. Basically, and what they do is connect you with the families that need help. So I sent them a message saying that there are 2 schools. One is Hilliard and one's Mitchell Elementary, and both of those schools have basically been shut down and all of those students are displaced. So we're asking to be put in touch with 5 families from each of those places so that we can partner with them to meet their immediate need, whatever that is. One of the guys that I met with whose parents needed, simple thing is food. The disaster SNAP thing is a 72-hour situation, and they didn't even know how to do it. So I pulled the information together, sent it to him, but then also pulled resources together to get a gift card to him so his parents could get groceries. So it's just basic needs like that. The other thing that we're looking at is I drove through Beaumont today, and it is almost just as bad as Houston. The properties on the highway, you see their belongings are still piled up on the side of the road. So I will stop on my way back through to actually get video of that as well, so that we can not only focus on Houston, but its surrounding areas, because Houston is getting whatever media it's getting, and Beaumont is getting much of nothing. So, but they're in just as big of a situation as we are. And so when we look at all of that, there's just so much that needs to be done. And as I don't remember who said it, it's an elephant. And we've got to just basically eat it one bite at a time, because we could basically burn ourselves out trying to be everything to all people, which is why I'm happy about this coalition, because as I get to a place and say, okay, Camilla, I've got a mother or a father that needs a job in this area of town, can you help me? Or basically say to, I forgot his name, with the Type 1 Diabetes Foundation, to say, look, I've got a family over here that kids is a Type 1 diabetic. How do you help me get their medication? So basically, we can basically do handoffs, and I can work with what is my strong point, and basically not try to be so thinly spread that we get nothing done and get so overwhelmed that we become paralyzed in our efforts. So that's kind of what's going on in our world.
Wow, Corliss. Tim leaned over and said, very good point. I mean, that's powerful, not to get overwhelmed. We're the ones that need to stay energetic, and that is the power of the coalition. So, and we help lift each other up. I mean, I had it on mute, and Ciel and Tim and Pete, it's so emotional. I can't imagine what families are going through. I can imagine the strength, Camilla and Steve and Pastor and all of you guys. And so that's where we can come in with the coalition, is really being there to help lift up what you're going through right now, the devastation. And that leads us into Skip and Derek. We've spent a year building the Positive Action Platform. It's an online platform, brings in the difference makers, philanthropists, nonprofits, community leaders, and highlights what we're doing, and then bringing solutions so we can show the devastation and then show the solutions with each one of you on the ground and the different areas you're all bringing together. So Skip, you last night on the coalition meeting, you talked about what you need now to help take this Positive Action Platform to a level where October 13th, people are going to go, wow, I got to be a part of this. We've got to. And, you know, I got an email last night. Skip, you'll love this. Got an email last night after the coalition meeting. And there's some people that aren't even with the coalition but are getting ready to join, that said, not only have we inspired them, we challenged them to take action. That's powerful. So the coalition has so many facets of the impact we can bring. So Skip, tell us a little bit about now what we can bring to you and your path you're on.
Thanks. Can you hear me okay? Yes?
Got you good, Skip.
Good. I've been off here. I'm working actually in the Positive Action Platform, the studio that we've got here. There's a tractor here. I'm trying to get started to move out of the studio here, control room here that we're putting in for sound recording, all of our editing and so forth. It's part of the Amplifying Truth kind of studio. I'm out here in the middle of the Ozark Mountains in North Arkansas, and it's beautiful on a creek. But so we're kind of building this building and turning it into a functional kind of epicenter for really a lot of the things that at this point in my career I've gone through, from commercial production, and I don't even want to go into the long list of the largest companies and nonprofits and hospital systems and many politicians, actually hundreds, and many of them you'd know by name I've worked with. But now it's kind of at this point in my life, I'm really want to step into my purpose. And working with Sherry a year ago, we said we became, and Derek and Tracy, we really became more than friends or associates, but soulmates, and a passion and a purpose. And when I saw what you guys were doing, it's like, I am so all in, and using whatever God gave me as skills, experience, talents, and resources to help tell those stories. And so what we were talking about last night was how can we get content? Because, I mean, you guys are the experts. You're the people doing it, the action people on the front line. You know, obviously we want to help. I want to help get the resources you need and tell the stories. Certainly I can come there, but certainly everybody has an iPhone and a photo, you know, that can take high definition videos and photos and do interviews and get footage where and then we can take interviews with many of you I've already interviewed, and be able to put those together to tell the stories and make that part of your arsenal to go in there and get the funds, get the resources to the people on the front lines and cut through the bureaucracy. Part of one of my dearest friends is Mike Huckabee, and I worked with him back when he was Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas and governor. I worked with the Democratic governor before him, and then I personally worked for Bill Clinton probably 20 years off and on, and even as president, I was doing certain projects for him. But through the political world and being in the back rooms with New Jersey strategists, oftentimes, I was the guy that helped craft messages. And I put my heart into it, and I want people to really accept and believe and become, connected. So many of the things that Pastor Walter said and what people are doing with counseling and so forth. I do tons with drug addiction and rehab facilities out in Arizona, and the opiate crisis that's going on. And my God, with what are the solutions to help people? I'm so grateful to hear that there's organizations out on the front line to help people through the counseling because their paradigms, their body, mind, spirit, soul have been crushed. Their paradigm is devastated. And what do they replace it with? What is that void? And that void is connection. And part of that is a spiritual connection, whatever your religion or belief or whatever, it's whether you're Native American in its nature, it's community, whatever it is, that's a spiritual movement. The body, the mind, the spirit, the mental inspiration to keep going. How do I recover? Just like we talked about with Sherry, how did she do that 30 some years ago? So for me, the timing is amazing to be a part of this organization and with all of you. And we're talking about a portal, the Purpose Pioneers, and a Facebook, and I'm going to start downloading footage and start telling the stories. My Facebook, my email, I would love for it to be posted. If anybody has it, my phone number, and possibly do interviews on the line. And eventually, I'd love to get down there and help you film, tell the stories, whatever I can do. But that's about it, Sherry. Any other questions? I think the Positive Action Platform and what Derek's launching with the network is very exciting, because it's one thing for me to want to do this on my own and make a difference here and there, but by bringing the network and this coalition together, and the experience and the resources and the charitable real estate giving and on, we're sitting on something very powerful, and I'm just excited to be a small part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Skip, for that so much. And just to give everyone a sneak peek of what we're talking about the Positive Action Platform. This is really just going to be with all of our coalition, our nonprofits. It's an online gateway dedicated to educating, connecting difference makers to charitable endeavors and social causes. And the mission of this platform is to connect difference makers, thought leaders, philanthropists, nonprofit experts, to a broad internet audience to address the needs and challenges of our society that we face today, primarily with this coalition in these areas that need of relief and rebuilding and recovery. So by using this platform to showcase and highlight this coalition, those difference makers that are on the ground, through this platform to just that really broad audience, many of you who are watching now in a much bigger way with the platform, we can inspire more people to become difference makers, to support our coalition, support our nonprofits on the ground, to ultimately rebuild these communities and make a big difference in these communities. That's really what this Positive Action Platform is about, that you're going to be seeing in the coming weeks here with a really big launch. But we're really excited about just a couple of weeks, and we're so glad that all of you are here with us, and we're just so blessed for all of you to be part of this coalition out there making a difference, and to get this out there to a broad internet online audience to help drive that support, to raise those funds, to make a difference in people's lives. That's what it's all about. That's the mission behind it.
And Derek, we did a comment, Skip, when I talk about the coalition is bigger than just rebuilding and devastated. It's lifting us up. It's bringing solutions. Listen to the comment Bill just put in. Skip Thomas just gave me a chill in my body when he said he's at the time of his life where he wants to step into his purpose. That's a powerful thing this coalition's bringing forth. And when I started out today saying I was blessed at the age of 22, I learned my purpose. And so how powerful this coalition can deliver that message, teaching people how to step into their purpose now and not wait until you're retired and financial set, make money. Man, live a purpose-led life. It's amazing. The abundance, the blessings. So, Derek, I put on there on the chat, you guys, if any of you want to get involved or you know folks that could help deliver supplies, or you've got folks that you know that have a trucking company, or you want to do disaster relief from Arizona, or get connected with us. And so I put in our email, go to info@thepowerpurpose.com, or you can call our office and we'll be the central hub. So I know we have a lot of folks on FaceTime Live. If any of you are on FaceTime Live and can, will you post that message to folks on FaceTime Live, and let's bring this country in a big way.
Yes, and please, all of you as well that are on Facebook, we see there's hundreds of you on right now on Facebook watching this. Just something you can do right now to help us, to help spread awareness and about our coalition, people on the ground, is share this. Share this on social media right now. Share it on Facebook. Get the word out. Leave comments. Contact us there. Get this out to your networks as well. That is what this is all about, to gain a broad online coalition in conjunction with people that are in the ground that are nonprofits.
Again, you guys, whoever's on Facebook Live, post this for us, because we want to have truckloads heading to Houston to start with next week. And we want to give you the address for the warehouse so we can have folks in one central location that can go get it. So post this number. Our office number is 505-217-9333. Or you can email us at info@thepowerofpurpose.com. So it'd be great. Thank you so much for those of you that'll post that on Facebook Live for us and rally this country.
I would like to ask one thing real quick, and just to give it some thought, as I hear all the different amazing things and the people on the ground, and Camelia and Walter, Reverend Walter, and Corliss, and all, in the trucks coming from New Mexico. I'd love for somewhere inside this circle of the Power of Purpose for us to start to develop a little flow chart, organizational, how we can, here's the warehouse, here's the people, here's who's moving. I'd like to put some dimension around this. I'm a visual person, obviously, with film and television, so I try to picture it, like, what does that look like? And all these great things. And so for me, I want to put it in a storyline or a flow. And so I'd love, and this can be outside of this call, of course, but with Derek and Sherry and whoever else, what are the things that you can each provide, and how that works into a flow of results? How does that translate into positive action in action?
That's perfect, Skip, because and for the rest of you, those of you on Facebook Live and our community, we're going to be spending some of this weekend. We've got the whole weekend together with the Purpose Pioneers, with the top mastermind students, 2 of them right here. They're hiding from the camera. Get in here. So we can spend time.
Yes, Mom.
I love it. He said, yes, Mom. That's my best title. I'm the most proud of that one. Well, besides Mima. I guess Mima. But you guys, send us thoughts, comments, Skip, what you just said, so that while we're huddled together, face to face, we can put that in the plan of action. We can together with the group, the Purpose Pioneers, we can build that visual that you're talking. And all of you guys on FaceTime Live, Facebook Live, put in comments what would help, what we need, what you want to see, ideas, so that this weekend we can bring all that together and just sit down and dream and scheme with no limits.
Absolutely. Love it. Well, for everyone, again, it's going to be a very exciting weekend as well. Again, our Purpose Pioneers are in town. They're in Albuquerque for the big mastermind this weekend. We're really excited about that. We're going to be discussing a lot more of this, really around a round table to strategize along with some other things. And all of you out there, just continue to stay in touch with us. Again, you know how to get a hold of us. We can connect you to people, again, that are on the ground, or you can have people that are in the area that are in need, or those that can help and support. Just, again, use us as this portal, this intermediary, to get you guys linked into the people that are on the ground that are making a difference, and with our coalition as a whole. Okay, and we'll continue our series on a weekly basis on Purpose Fridays here, and probably even more so beyond that after this weekend, after our big mastermind meeting this weekend with our Purpose Pioneers. We're going to be really probably connecting with you guys a lot more, especially on social media. Positive Action platform is going to be coming online just within weeks. So a lot more to hear from us, but please feel free to contact us in ways to get connected with those on the ground. Or again, if you, with your connections, your first level circle, second level circle, family, friends, colleagues, people that are wanting to support or that can have help. Or we've talked about people that are businesses and companies that have equipment, material, supplies. How do I get it to them? Where does it go? Everything. We now have a warehouse on the ground to actually just kind of consolidate all those things that are coming in and then have them distributed out to the communities. So this is really starting to move pretty quick here. So contact our office. Let's get in touch, and then we can have the resources that can be housed, and then also people on the ground that can get them out to people in need.
And Derek, you know how I always do the last word, and I don't mean to. I'm always like, oh yeah, one more thing. Well, what I'd like to do today is, you guys, I want Camilla and Pastor and Corliss and Skip, any of you, the last parting words you have for us.
I guess I'll go first. I will just go ahead and say that I think we are on the right road. I believe that the best for us is still yet to come. There's some noise in the background, but we will get more done real soon. So I'm going to let someone else speak because I'm in a place that's a little noisy now.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor. So I would just like to thank you guys again for coming on to this meeting and seeing what's going on the ground. And really what we hope for is, as we get a structure and funding going and we help a lot of people, we will now have templates and things that work, that we can pass on to the people who are in Florida and the people who are in Puerto Rico, because they are now 4 weeks behind us in terms of managing the disaster, and they've been able to call us and learn from us. And so we're really hoping that this is something that helps a lot of people. This isn't just about Houston at all. This is about rebuilding America and making sure that everybody that's been affected by the disaster kind of gets to move forward as quickly as possible. So thanks for joining us, and see you guys next Friday.
Thank you, Camilla.
I just want to say thanks. Thanks for your leadership. Thanks for your vision. Thanks for such a time as this. I just think that we're basically the heartbeat of. This is where we need to be. We need to be putting aside everything and making sure that our people, regardless to who they worship or what they do, are taken care of. It's got to be a love in action situation, because you can't lead the people unless you love the people. So that's my.
Well said, Corliss. Thank you so much. Skip?
Oh, sorry. Hello. Am I there? Hello. Yes, I just want to thank you all. And I think, ditto on so many of the things I heard. I think said it last night, I think we are the people we've been waiting for, and let's do it.
period.
Absolutely.
Hey, Skip, nice hat.
Pete.
Okay, Pete.
Yes, I can't wait for tonight and tomorrow and Sunday to see what amazing action we're going to take to help so many people.
Thank you, Pete. And Mr. Tim Combs.
I think some awesome comments by everyone. Different ways to go about it and what needs to happen. And I think as a group, we can definitely rock some world around here with making things come together and helping who we can. And I think that Sherry and I talked about, like, one of them was getting some veterans together to be able to come down and do some work, and seeing who I can reach out to in Iowa to put a group together and see what we can come up with for coming down and trying to do something anyway to make a difference. So that's awesome. And yeah, hoping to put some plan together, like for Skip, which is a good point, very good point, of knowing who's coming from where and where it's all going to, and where's it going to get to at the end. So that's a good comment, things that need to put together. So hopefully we can do that this weekend. So you bet.
All right. Thanks, Tim. And I'll say, before I turn it over to Mom here, I just, again, thank everyone for tuning in. Please continue to follow us. We're going to be checking in probably quite more often. Might have a little special broadcast this weekend with our Purpose Pioneers, our top nonprofit people around the country. And very excited about this weekend. But please stay tuned. So much more to come. And thank you again for all of your support, your outpouring, your messages, and staying connected on how you can help as well. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to end with Bill. I'm going to follow up with your comment. You know, when Skip said he's at a time in his life where he wants to step into his purpose, don't wait, guys. Don't wait. Now's the time. If you've read The Alchemist, it's all about living your purpose. What's life about? Is it about just making a paycheck so you can pay your house and live a life where you have more stuff, we're material oriented? Or is it about living that abundance in a way that fulfills you like no amount of money will? The fulfillment, the social significance, when you're out there making a difference, when you're living your purpose, there's no amount of money that fulfills you like that. So do it now. Join us. Come and be a part of the coalition. And together, we will rebuild America, from the disaster areas to stopping the 22 suicides a day from veterans, to having this opiate crisis, to having people with disabilities being relegated back into institutions and nursing homes, to having young adults with autism have no type of support, to looking at our 80% recidivism rate in our prisons, to looking at the juvenile justice systems that's growing instead of empowering our kids as our future leaders. This is our chance to bring this country together, and communities bring their own solutions forward. That's going to bring our country to new heights, and then we go out and rebuild other parts of the world. So it was very intentional to say rebuild America, rebuild by America, rebuild for America. We can do rebuild America Africa, rebuild America Haiti, rebuild. So this is us coming together and bringing solutions and lifting people up, and us living a life of social significance, of fulfillment, living our purpose.
Well put, everyone. Thank you again so much. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned. So much more to come. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Derek. Thank you, Derek.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See ya.